welcome to the first ever episode of just piss for something happened of Drunk Football. All right.
Right. You started the intro.
I'm keeping on going. I'm just gonna include this as all of it. All right. Welcome to the first episode of Drunk Football. We are including what just happened. But basically, it's a twist on a normal podcast. You know, drunk history is a thing, so why not drunk football? Us talking about football, got our drinks with us. And we're just gonna chat and ramble on the hot topics at the minute: the Euro, summer transfer window, and of course the issue of Tottenham. So might as well start with
the issue. There's plenty of issues.
There's plenty of issues
over at Tottenham.
There's plenty of issues at Tottenham. We'll start with you though, Kieran, with the Tottenham thing. Conte looks like the lead runner for the Tottenham job. Is that something you'd like to see? I mean, he's just off the back of winning Serie A. Why not?
Oh, I'd love to see it. I would love to see it.
Look at him, he's happy.
That's the problem. It's that appointment is too good to be true. Genuinely, that's what I'm worried about.
He's worried about his Wi-Fi. That's what he should.
The Spurs, Levy in particular. It's just. Mate, I wish it would better. I really do, but there's not much I can do. There's a history of just getting things so far and then it just going wrong. But Conte would be a fantastic appointment, considering the names we had been linked with. But I mean, it's been about 2 months now, to be honest, and I'm just getting a bit bored. And I would actually like someone in because it's a bit worrying, not gonna lie. Having no manager. The Poch rumours not even rumours, it was pretty concrete, was the dream. But PSG seem as though they're pretty reluctant to let him go. Understandably, he's only joined in January. I'd love to see Conte, man. Really would love him at Spurs.
You say it's worrying. For me, the fact that it's been 2 months, whatever, yeah, you can say it could be a negative thing, but I take it as a positive. They're clearly trying to find a perfect fit for the club.
They haven't got a clue.
They've had longer than that, haven't they? Because Ryan Mason was never done.
I can understand why you think that they're just taking their time with the right appointment. But we've literally been all over Ten Hag. That went balls up. All over Poch. Conte, now that's fast-tracked, and even that's looking a bit broken.
You don't know. Come on, I'm not slagging off journalists here because we are journalists ourselves, but you don't know that any of this is true, necessarily. It's just been, reported on by journalists.
It's Daniel Levy. It's Daniel Levy.
They've had 4 months, though, Ollie.
The man loves a bargain.
Yeah. I'm not saying that, but personally, I wouldn't take all that as a negative. There's nothing worse than just sacking manager and rushing him for the next one. They're taking their time. And let's be honest, if they had signed the manager straight after Jose was sacked, Conte would still be in the job, so he wouldn't even be in the question. So if you think about taking this time, and if you do get Conte, it's a great situation to have been in. So
I think it is great. Right? Sorry, you go, Kieran. You're the Tottenham fan. You go.
Okay. Well, that's the thing. Is Daniel Levy and Steve Hitchen, they will cock up, but something will go in their favour where it looks as though it's a brilliant deal. Like, it looked as though we weren't going to sign Lo Celso the season before last because we just couldn't agree on a price. Eventually, it was so apparent it was going to happen. We loaned him for half the season and then bought him for 10 million less than what we were going to buy him for. He held out with other players like Ndombele. And that's the thing. It just seems like everything does somewhat go in his favour eventually. But I don't know. I'm not convinced by it at all. And if Conte isn't appointed, I'm going to be extremely disappointed because it looked as though everything was there. And now it's just we've had a few problems with background staff and salary and the immediate future of the club. And that's kind of where it's falling short of it. So it's like we went about 10 steps forward. Now we've gone kind of 3 back. And it looks as though it's further away from happening than what it once was, which is why it's a bit worrying.
For me, I think from an outside perspective, obviously not as a Tottenham fan, I think I would be happy right now Because it went from Jose leaving to, you know, Ryan Mason coming in to Kane apparently wanting to leave. Now to Poch and Conte being rumoured, to Kane wanting to stay maybe if you get one of those managers in. It's gone from being managerless and losing your star player to getting a quality manager in and keeping one of the best strikers, if not the best striker in the world.
We don't have him yet. That's the thing. We don't have him yet. And that's the problem.
You don't have him, but you could do.
We could have anyone.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. He's not signed on. He's not.
Yeah, but a month ago, you weren't linked with fees.
He's kind of irrelevant.
You know, a month ago you were linked with Fulham manager, Brighton manager. Now you're linked with a Serie A winning manager, and your captain's going to stay maybe. Like, surely this is positives. Like, you're moving in the right direction.
Captain.
I'll be honest. If my club spent 4 months looking for a manager and still hadn't at least made a concerted attempt to bring in one, I would not be happy. Tottenham should have had a short list of managers as soon as about a week or two after Mourinho left. And if Conte wasn't on that, then be it. But I'll be honest, I don't think Conte is going to go Spurs. I think the problem is going to be Conte hates like tough owners. He left Chelsea very quickly after falling out with Abramovich. He left Inter after falling out with their owner. God knows how he's going to survive.
He doesn't like as well. He's very much a manager who's going to be 1-2 players away from immediate success. If you watch Spurs at the end of the last season, it's not good. It is a bit ropey.
Yeah, I think he's taken a bad team, and he's going to hate the fact that he's not going to get that much money to work with. He'll get some money, but not as much money as Conte wants. Conte's one of those, if you don't give him what he wants, he's fine. He'll just dip.
But where else would he go? Like, let's be legit.
He's got enough money to not go anywhere and wait out for a year and go somewhere else.
That's not the thing with managers. The managers like to be in the game, and that, on the back of winning a title, winning season. Personally, I don't think he's not gonna. I think he's gonna want to be in a job as soon as possible. I think, he's got that momentum. He's got that sort of behind him. I think he's gonna. I can see him going Tottenham. I really can.
I think if Levy gives in to him, then yeah, cool. Then he will go Tottenham. But if Levy stays how he has been with previous managers like Poch and those types, Mourinho even to an extent,
has to be backed.
It's not going to happen because Conte cannot stand strict owners.
I'm not denying that. I think it's the case of he will go Spurs. Will he stay at Spurs? It's
going to be short term. It is short term.
Yeah, Conte wins leagues and goes home. That's what Conte does.
They're trying to convince him that he's going to be the leader of this rebuild, and I don't think he's there for that at all. I don't think he has the patience for a rebuild, really.
I think if you're getting a rebuild, the type of manager you look for is different, because Conte's not a mercenary, but he's someone that comes in short term, he'll win, go kind of like Mourinho was, back in the day.
He's a modern day Mourinho.
Yeah, he's a
season or two and then he dips.
That's why Poch was the dream.
Yeah, he's the type of manager you want, and part of me even says like Graham Potter would be kind of good for that because he's patient, he gives chances. It depends how serious Tottenham are with the rebuilding idea, and they're not just going to trade off kind of Harry Kane and having him and Son Heung-min and a bunch of average players kind of behind him. So it depends how Levy really feels about Tottenham's ambitions, whether he just wants to keep plodding along or really wants to grow the club. But the positive news is that director of football, I can't remember his name, but the Italian director of football is going to sign regardless.
Fabio Patrici?
Yeah, so Patrici, I think that's right. But he's going to sign regardless. So at least Tottenham have that person at the top. Kind of, like how United have been calling out for a director of football for years. Tottenham are getting that man that is going to lead the charge.
We have got one now.
It's someone. You've got someone.
Murtalk, whatever he's called. But we have got. The thing with me is, with Tottenham is, you're on about a rebuild. I personally can't see Tottenham having the rebuild they need until Kane goes. Kane is going to leave Tottenham at one time or another, whether it's this season, next season, or season after. And whatever rebuild you do, if Kane is still there now, and then you do a rebuild this season and he leaves next season, your rebuild meant nothing because your entire team and your pivotal player is gone. You need Kane to go and rebuild, or you just need to, make the signings to tweak that team, because a rebuild with Kane still there for him to leave 12 months later is pointless.
I think you're right. It's one of two things, though. You need to bring in a manager who's going to have the patience as well to do that rebuild, which I don't think Conte necessarily has. And if you say as well, I agree with the Kane situation, because if he doesn't go this summer, it's literally going to be, you have to win something this year. And, chances are unlikely, let's be honest, because a lot of that squad, in my opinion, think they're better than they are. And that's where the problem lies. The deadwood is so apparent. I mean, look at that Chelsea team, what Tuchel's done. the players that were on the bench, not even in the squad, they look as though they're part of the squad, part of the unit, part of the team, and they're okay being bench warmers or not even in the squad because they understand the philosophy and they understand the emotions of all of it. I don't get that feeling with Spurs. I feel like it's 11 players, well, 3-4 players that start definitely and have to, and then you've just got kind of 6-7 others who are just kind of there. So it needs a big deadwood trim, and I don't know if Conte is the man to do that necessarily.
It feels like a similar situation to kind of Barcelona, really, in a way, because they're a club that recruitment has been awful. It's like they're kind of waiting for Messi to leave, but they can't just force it out, obviously, because Messi's their best player. So in a similar situation, obviously, Barca's still doing a lot better than Tottenham are, but it's that similar thing where the star man is so important, almost too important to the club, that nothing can start until he is no longer there. And that's kind of what I see with Tottenham. What are you going to say?
No, before I go on to my point, I've said for like last week to so many different people right now, you've got to, but at the same time you don't feel sorry for Suarez. He won the league, but he was released because he was too old. They've signed Aguero, and they look like they're going to sign Ronaldo. Like, too old, and they go and sign players in their 30s. Like, he's got been so mugged off and so happy with himself that he's gone and won the league.
The Wijnaldum signing makes sense, but the Aguero one doesn't to me. I know he wants to play with Messi and be playing with his guys and that, but he doesn't look great. Wijnaldum is a player that can still do it, and he's got a good relationship with the manager, Koeman. That's the only reason I can see that happening. But yeah, Barca need a whole their recruitment has been so shoddy.
Ability aside, there, Suarez was so good. He deserved loyalty from that board. He was, part of probably one of the best trios that football's ever seen, and
best duos in the Premier League as well.
And they don't cook him. They kick him to the side because apparently he's too old. And then they go inside a player, his age, older, I don't know, basically the same age as him, just because he's friends with Messi. He's got to be feeling really, really mugged off right now.
I'm sure he's feeling all right with the trophy in his hands, but I saw a stat. I can't remember what number it was, but he's got the second and most amount of assists in like football history or La Liga history or something like that, just below Ronaldo. I mean, Suarez is. I mean, regardless of Suarez, the human being, the not so nice human being that he is, he's an incredible footballer and just one of the best. Obviously, former Liverpool player, was so good for us, and controversy was kind of ruined him as a human, but you had to still appreciate how good that footballer was. And I mean, I'd love him back at Liverpool. I'd be with him back at Liverpool. That'd be brilliant.
Going on to what I was going to say, and you talked about rebuilds. Let's talk about the summer transfer window, and one rebuild in particular, or not rebuild, deadwood, Man City. Obviously, Nathan, you wrote about it earlier on this week, but they're rumoured to be, getting rid of some big players, a big, summer ahead for Man City and all teams in the Premier League. But I can't believe the fact that Man City could be looking to sell, the likes of Laporte, who are was meant to be the best centre-back or second best centre-back in the league last year, and also Sterling, player that was so crucial to the team. Like, it just confuses me, the fact that these players could be leaving Man City. I know they want first-team football, and that's understandable, but it's just crazy that the depth they've got to sell them players.
Man City's dead wood could probably get into most Premier League teams. It's crazy. I still think Laporte should start for Man City, to be honest. I think he should start ahead of Stones, personally, for me, next to Diaz. Sterling, Sterling has his critics, but I think he's class. I mean, he obviously couldn't come back to Liverpool because of the history, but I'd take him. And then, Mahrez is sick. I'd love Mahrez at any club in the Premier League because he's just really good. Bernardo Silva was a new one as well. Bernardo Silva was crazy good.
Confused me though, because Mahrez kind of came into his own for me this season. This is the best season he's had personally at Manchester City. He's played a lot more than I think most expected to him of when he joined Man City, especially this season. And he's been very, very good for Man City. I think he's been sort of like,
he's been important in the Champions League as well.
Yeah. I was going to say, he's been one of the most important players for Man City, I think, in the shadows that most people give him, credit for. And now all of a sudden he's looking to leave because, he doesn't feel like he's needed there. Like, he's one of their best players, in my opinion. His ability is so underrated. Like, you can talk about the likes of Kante and leave him Leicester and doing really well. Mahrez, he's not the same ability as Kante and sort of his work rate and stuff like this, but he has gone into a squad full of talent. And he has still proven that he's a quality player. That is hard. That is so hard to do.
Are they trying to fund a Harry Kane deal? Is that what they're trying to do? Harry Kane and Jack Grealish, are they trying to fund that by sending off these players?
I don't think they can sell players.
I mean, I know they can afford it, but are they just trying to clear some space? I mean, Kieran, would you, if you were Daniel Levy and he said, right, Jesus, Mahrez for Kane, and maybe like 30 million or 20 million on top, what are you saying to that?
I wouldn't. I personally wouldn't.
That's the thing, is I would not sell Kane for any cost. I think he's priceless. But when there's so much desire on one side to not be at the club, you kind of have to be like what happened with Bale. It was so apparent he was going to leave. It's just you just have to let him go. You know,
I
set him free if you love him,
but not for that. Not for that.
No, but I've seen Tottenham are interested in Jesus. That's the player they want. Like anytime I see Tottenham's name, they want Jesus.
Jesus is not. Jesus he's not even overrated. He's just not a starting. He's not a starting top 6 Premier League striker, in my opinion. He's great.
Yeah, but Tottenham aren't in the top 6.
No denying that. But he's not the starting striker or the replacement for Kane that Tottenham needs. He's a good player.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good player, but he's not going to win you the league. He's not a league.
Let's be real. Tottenham aren't going to replace Kane. That's impossible. You can't replace the best striker in the world.
True. I agree there, but they can do better than Jesus. He could start for West Ham. He can be but he's not a starting player for Tottenham. And I know Tottenham aren't, going to win the league next season necessarily. All right, just watch this age really badly. But Kieran would love that to age badly. But anyway, I don't think he's the right man to replace him. If I was Tottenham right now, I'd say take Mahrez and 50 million, but not both those players and 20 million.
I do worry about that, though, because the last time it was a straight money deal, we bought 8 players, all Premier League unproven, and the only one that's left is Lamela, and the only really good buy out of it was Eriksen. So we bought a lot of dead wood with the money. So I think what we have to do this time is if we do sell him, you have to replace him with already quality players. Jesus, I think, has been hard done by this year a little bit, in that with there being no Aguero, Guardiola seemed to opt for playing kind of a false 9 as such. And yes, it has worked, but I do still think he's a very good striker. And I think in certain teams he's that sort of poacher that you need or want. Tottenham would have to change their entire attacking play style if Jesus was brought in, because he's not going to give you the same service as Kane. He's not that hold-up man, assist man. He's going to run in behind. He's going to get in the 6-yard box. That's just how it is. And I think, like you said, I think you struggle to replace Kane's goals regardless, but you'd struggle to replace him as an overall player, like in midfield, in defence, in attack, just everything. So what we have to do is we need to work out with the players we have who is going to be best suited to what we want to do, whether it's someone who's a target man, someone who likes to run in behind, someone who's a poacher. And, I worry, that's where I worry, because I feel like if you get that decision wrong and you spend big, then it costs you for years to come. And that's kind of what happened with the Bale money, till we managed to bring in, the likes of Dele Alli, Son, and Eriksen started to thrive with those players, Kane coming through the academy, Dembele and Wanyama being brought in as well and thriving. And, I think it's going to take a few years regardless. And I feel like we already knew that. But I do worry for the short term and the long term, especially with the people that are making the decisions, which is why this manager appointment for Spurs needs to be the right one. It can't be wrong, because it will not only affect the club this season, but it will affect the club for the next 5 years, I think.
I just want to say, what you said there, I completely agree with. But alarm bells surely should be ringing in your head. You're on about Gabriel Jesus. You said he wouldn't fit the system at Tottenham. He wouldn't. But alarm bells must be ringing if a manager of the quality of Pep, minus his stupidity in the Champions League final, a manager of his quality, you lose your starting striker. You turn not even to your second striker. You decide to not play a striker and play the players you've got. And now that persons are meant to lead the line in replace Kane. No, that's alarm bells there. If he can't even be the backup striker to Aguero and they prefer to put a cam or a winger in front of him, he's not going to replace Kane. It's the wrong move. You don't add him in the place of it.
He's not going to replace Kane, though. You can't replace him.
No, but he's not. You have to replace him. Not replace him, but you have to replace him. I just think that's the wrong way.
Just because
I get what you're saying. There's only so many strikers available.
There's strikers.
Well, we've seen Pep's decision. He trusted Gundogan to play in the deep lying role in the biggest game of his Man City career, and he balls that up. So I mean, I don't know.
You're now putting Pep Guardiola's entire reputation down to one mistake in a final. Yeah, it was ludicrous, but we can talk about so many mistakes from so many managers. Right now, Gabriel Jesus, in my mind, is not the right person to replace Harry Kane, and no one will replace him, but someone has to actually replace him, and he is just not the right decision. But
I mean,
I think I personally. What were you gonna say?
Just because I don't particularly think Jesus is the world's greatest striker, but I'm prepared to give him the benefit of the doubt, because just because one manager, regardless of how good that manager is, doesn't rate someone, doesn't mean that other managers. We've seen it plenty of times where one manager doesn't fancy it, and then Mourinho didn't rate Salah, and then Salah went and he didn't rate De Bruyne. So you see that if one manager doesn't feel a certain way, but if another manager can get the best out of Jesus, then what they will get is a fantastic footballer. But it's all about that relationship with the manager, and so if Jesus came in and I think unless you're going to look for someone unproven, and I'm not sure if that's always been Tottenham's best route with players, that's more of on their recruitment side of things. Because I mean, Vinicius hasn't done anything, so I'd just be worried. I wouldn't trust Tottenham to sign someone that has come from outside the Premier League that has no quality, no proven quality in the Premier League. Whereas Jesus at least has some. I mean, Martial is the other one who's been linked with Tottenham, but again, you're kind of getting a similar deal with the Jesus thing, not particularly clinical strikers.
I agree with you in the fact that, managers have been able to turn players that other managers don't like into quality players. And obviously Chelsea are renowned for letting go players that turn into great players. But we're talking about Jose Mourinho letting these players go. These aren't the players Pep Guardiola lets go. Pep Guardiola knows talent. Pep Guardiola knows...
He let go of Eto'o, very good strikers before.
Gabriel Jesus is no Eto'o. He's a no Eto'o.
He might be.
You never know. Great player. He's a great player. I'm not going to lie. He's a great player. But he's not, in my mind, the man for Tottenham. But
who is that? That's the thing. You have to take someone.
You do. And
Andre Silva, but I don't think you could get him.
I'm not the man to say this, but enough on Tottenham. I'm pretty sure Nathan's got some questions for us, which we're going to absolutely flop at. So let's get to his questions.
Right, so welcome to our first sort of quiz game for this episode. It's kind of like Mastermind, if you guys have seen that. Obviously, it's a staple British TV show. You have a certain amount of time. You've got to answer a certain amount of questions. In that time, whoever gets the most wins. This is going to be based on club football knowledge. So Ollie supports Manchester United. Kieran supports Tottenham. The loser, and so because this is drunk football, we're going to incorporate a little bit of drinking into it as well. So every question you get wrong is a swig. 3 wrong answers is a down of your drink. So we might have to get to see Kieran Ollie down their drink. And obviously, you weren't there for this. But
wait, when you say down it, we're just going to do a whole new pint, all right? A whole new pint. You got to down a whole new pint, so you can't just be swigging on there. Also, I'm going to say, you say it's like Mastermind. The clear difference is we have idiots being the ones actually answering the questions.
Idiot mind.
Rather than people actually with some intelligence on it. So,
we did a little bit before this where he was playing a card game, higher or lower, whoever got it right. And let's just say, Ollie and Kieran were down a lot of pints before that. I was getting quite lucky because I was getting them right. But, I mean, we'll get into this. So, again, if you want to kind of join in at home, I don't know if you want to think of the answers.
I'm nervous for Ollie.
Tell us how many you got in these, especially if you're a Man United fan or a Tottenham fan. But once this 2-minute timer starts, Ollie's question starts. So I'm going to say...
I just want to say I'm sorry for Man United. I'm sorry to all Man United fans. And I'm sorry to my family for watching, for the disappointments that you're going to see. I don't do well under pressure, and I don't do well without pressure. So this is a combination that we don't want to see.
So just so if you say the answer and it's correct, I'll say correct. If it's wrong, I'll say wrong. You can pass if you don't know and want to move on to another one. So we'll see how many. I'll count how many you got right on this hand. So
can I come back to the past ones if I don't?
No, once you pass, it is passed. You've gone past it. You cannot carry on. Right, I'm a bit nervous to even read the questions. Right.
Wait, so
are you ready?
If you say pass, does that technically not count as a wrong answer?
No, that's a wrong answer. I mean, it's incorrect. You're
not going to get a point for saying
pass. Pass. Okay, that's a point. No. Right. Right. So Ollie, are you ready?
No.
Right. 3, 2, 1. Right, which player took Cristiano Ronaldo's number 7 shirt after he left?
Di Maria. No, I don't know.
No, incorrect. The players who progressed to the Manchester United first team under Matt Busby were known as what?
Busby Babes.
Correct. What player holds the record of appearances for Manchester United?
Wayne Rooney?
Incorrect. 2 stands at Old Trafford are named after which people?
2 stands. No, I know these. I literally know these in my head right now.
Say it then.
Bobby Charlton. Is that one?
You get the point for naming both.
Bobby Charlton and Matt Busby.
Incorrect. What team did the fan Eric Cantona karate kick support? So that Eric Cantona. Correct. Who knocked Manchester United out of the 2018-19 Champions League?
2018. I haven't got a clue. I'm feeling the nerves here.
You've got a bit of time. You've only got one more question.
If Ollie doesn't get that right, can I say my guess?
2000.
Afterwards, I'll let you have a guess. 2018
Champions League. PSG?
Incorrect. What was Manchester United's last game before the COVID-19 pandemic, and what was the score?
Manchester Derby won it.
And what was the score?
2-1?
Incorrect.
I knew it was.
So we got it done. So Ollie got 2.
Was it Michael?
Right.
Did Michael Carrick have the most appearances?
No. So Kieran. So which player took Ronaldo's number 7 after he left? Do you have a guess for that?
It was Falcao.
No, it was Michael Owen.
Oh, Michael Owen.
Do you know what the most annoying thing is? I said Di Maria, and I was like, well, that's years later. Why have I said that? I said it. That's like stupid answer.
Busby Babes was correct. What player holds the record amount of appearances?
Don't have a
Kieran.
Rio.
It was Ryan Giggs, one of the biggest horrible people in football. But it was Ryan Giggs holds the most with 900 odd or something. The 2 stands were named after Sir Bobby Charlton and
Sir Alex.
Sir Alex, of course.
Got to be Sir Alex.
Crystal Palace was right. The team that knocked Manchester United out of the 2018-19 Champions League?
Sevilla.
Incorrect. It was Barcelona. It was after you beat PSG.
Yeah. After PSG.
Do you want to know what, though? Do you know what? I can remember playing PSG and I was like, maybe it's them. My backup was Sevilla and then my third option was Barca.
You beat PSG. It was that Marcus Rashford penalty with all that what happened.
Yeah.
And then the last one, the Man United last game, was Manchester City.
I knew it was Manchester City.
You won 2-0. You didn't concede. Have some more faith in your team.
I knew it was 2-something. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, okay, I did pretty crap. But my answers weren't far off. That is, I apologise. I know I already apologised before I even did it, but I'd like to apologise also now.
You just want to drink more.
So Ollie will down his drink, but not until Kieran's had his go. So your score is 2 to beat, Kieran, and I'm looking at some of these, and I think you should know some of these. But then I did say that.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Yeah, but I just want to say, first of all, I know Di Maria was a stupid shout. It was years later. That was the first question that I proved myself. The other ones, I have nothing to say. All right.
Right, so Kieran, are you ready?
Nope, but yeah, come on.
Right, 3, 2, 1, so. Who did Dele Alli score his goal of the season winning goal against in 2015-16?
Crystal Palace.
Correct. Who was the last player to finish as Spurs' top goal scorer other than Harry Kane?
Jermaine Defoe.
Incorrect. Only one Honduran has ever played Premier League football for Spurs. Who?
Wilson Palacios.
Correct. What year were Tottenham founded?
1882.
Correct. How many Community Shields have Tottenham won?
3.
Incorrect. What was Spurs' last game before the COVID-19 pandemic, and what was the score?
Is it any division?
It could be anything.
Competition.
What was your last game before COVID?
Okay, I think it was Champions League RB Leipzig, where they won 3-0.
Incorrect. What club did Spurs purchase Juan Foyth from? I mean, Kieran, you've got a minute to think about this.
Is this the last one?
And you've already won, so you.
Oh, that's good then.
Yeah, but you can still down a pint.
Yeah, you still got. Unfortunately, you've still got 3 wrong, which means you have to down a pint regardless of your win here.
Oh.
But I mean, if you want to finish this quick.
I Probably some Argentinian team, but I don't know any Argentinian team.
Have a swing at an Argentinian team. You must know.
Buenos Aires.
No, incorrect. Right, so Ollie, you've got any swings at them? Who that could be? Top goal scorer other than Harry Kane?
Crouch. I don't know.
No, it was Emmanuel Adebayor.
I was honestly about to say, and then I went, no, Crouch. I'm not even lying. I was about to say him.
The Honduran one was right. Founder was right. Community Shield, Ollie. How many do you reckon? Just a swing.
4.
7. So Tottenham prolific in that competition. Their last game before the COVID pandemic.
I ain't got.
Kieran got the wrong competition. It was the Premier League. It was a 1-1 draw versus Burnley.
Oh, I should have known that.
And the club that Spurs purchased Juan Foy from was Estudiantes in the Argentinian league. So the Argentinian club was right, but I tried to make it a little difficult. We're going to stop the share there, so we'll go back to us four. Well, we'll be joined by your drinks very soon. So have to get into that. So I don't know if we're going to fast forward this little compilation here.
Oh, now we're going to see us pouring the drinks down in the drinks.
I believe
what happened,
you.
Kieran?
I am just going to check.
I mean, I might have only looked at the Premier League fixtures. That might be it.
If I've got that right.
If it is, I'll check as well. You
How
can see my screen.
I think when you said it though, I'm pretty sure you were right.
How many questions did you get wrong though? 4.
You got 4 wrong, 3 right, and you might have only 2 right.
Well,
2 wrong.
Wait, no. If he had 4 wrong and 3 right, that's 3 wrong.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see here.
Yeah, but so he drinks whatever.
Nathan, it was RB Leipzig.
Oh.
So he still drinks. He's still got 3.
No, because that would mean I've got 4 right.
Well, no.
Yeah,
from what Nathan just said, Nathan, when you had 4 wrong, 3 right.
He was right.
Yeah, so it would swap to 4 right, 3 wrong.
Yeah, but it's only.
Which still means a drink. Still means a drink. Unfortunately, 3 was
it's only 3 to drink.
3 was to drink.
You have to drink.
So despite my mistakes, I apologise for that. But
how can we trust the quizmaster if he gets that wrong? I reckon we just void this.
No, I think 3 wrong. I was letting you. I was giving it harsh than it should have been, but you were still very much.
Let me grab a glass then. I don't have a glass.
I was just like,
can I show it's full by pouring a bit when it's?
No, we know it's full, Kieran. We trust it.
That's
all over my laptop.
That's advertisement. I just like to say there are other ciders out there that aren't.
Other side of it. There's more manlier drinks available than cider.
I'd also like to say
Devon boys.
We are students, hence the tourists from Aldi.
Yeah, and we're also all from Devon. Therefore, cider is the chosen drink, not beer or lager.
Spilled loads all over my laptop.
I figured out that Northerners really like beer, lager, and ale. From my experience in a Midlands area full of Northerners, which is Derby.
All right, Nathan, you can shut up now, man.
Yeah, this is what the people want to see.
You're not going to be talking, so I can just provide the entertainment here.
All right, wait. I thought you got a glass. I thought you were having a glass.
No, Kieran's
Would you want me to go and get a glass?
No.
Yeah, I'd like. No. I want to see him. I want to see this.
You better edit this then. Ollie.
I'm going to speed this up from now on.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's what I have left in the can.
By the way, I just want to say, I did say prior to this quiz taking place that what we have to down is a full pint. So you have to pour more into that glass.
Okay,
Can I get another one then?
Look at this, fill up my half pint.
I'll speed this up as well.
This smells tragic. On top of the thing, it's a pint. Yeah. No, on top of the handle. Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. Pint.
We're back. We're back. Whatever. I'm looking forward. I don't know why. I can't see. Kieran, how many long do you reckon you'll be able to do this in?
Minutes or how many sips?
No, I meant seconds.
Oh.
Oh, it's
okay. I'm going to do a disclaimer.
All I'm going to say is it was the perfect time for you to freeze so that we didn't have to hear the tragic amount of time that you said.
I don't want to give a time. I'm just going to do a disclaimer of I am terrible at downing. I'm terrible at drinking.
Me and Kieran are a bit like Roy Hodgson at Liverpool. We don't know what to do with downing. We're not very good at it. We do struggle with it. So I mean, if it comes to Palace. Yeah, he's like Tony Mowbray. He knows what to do with Downing, but we don't have a clue. So, just get it down quickly because we're going to be here for a while. It's me or you.
That was good.
Come on.
We'll go here for a while anyway.
Up to being crap about our knowledge of our own teams.
What do you mean? I got a decent amount right.
You got 3 wrong.
You got, yeah.
5 wrong.
Cheers.
Yes.
We're fast forwarding the Downing.
Yeah, I want to apologise, but I'm going to fast forward on them burps.
Yeah, that's fine.
Respect.
Action.
Hey, I'd just like to say that despite setting clear rules, we did a VAR and went drastically wrong because we didn't even drink for the incorrect answers.
No, well, we said when free comes in down your drink, I think it kind of collides with itself if you didn't get 3 wrong because it would have been after the quiz anyway. It wouldn't be during because that would
because
be a bit of a
just wasted time. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, Kieran had plenty of time to be fair, but I hold my hands up as the quiz master. I can't remember what the guy's called that does the mastermind, but he'd have been disappointed in me for getting that wrong.
How? But, I mean, name? What's his name? He's changed as well.
Jon Snow? No, it's not Jon Snow, is it?
No. I don't know.
I think it is. Jon. He hosts the Channel 4 News.
Yeah, it's
that same guy.
It's a new journalist. Anyway, right, time for Kieran's quiz.
Let's see how he feels about this quiz. So, Kieran, what is your quiz kind of based on? Just intro it to everyone.
Is there any drinking parameters on this?
Well, tell us.
Up to you, it's your game.
I won't do any downs, but if you get 1 wrong,
sweet.
2 fingers.
Down.
2 fingers if you get 1 wrong.
2 fingers?
2 fingers, yeah, 2 fingers.
What do you mean 2 fingers?
Like 2 fingers worth.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, no, sorry,
okay.
I don't go to the uni of work, so I didn't understand that quite so quickly.
Behave.
All right, so to clarify, everyone that got really nervous there, don't turn off. It's just...
No.
Right.
So what are your questions kind of based on?
So I told Ollie a bit earlier, it's higher or lower.
Higher or lower? Okay. Oh, yes. God.
And the topic is not your usual appearances, goals, assists. It is stadium capacities.
Oh, no, I'm not good at this. Oh, golly gosh. That's what I was saying.
So, based off EFL/Premier League knowledge, Nathan...
It's a cliffhanger.
Yours is
Yeah, no, well, this is saying kit numbers. I don't know this stuff. I just know players' names.
Okay,
I'm not that smart.
A lot of fingers for you.
Oh, I hope not.
So anyway. who wants to go first?
Go on, Ollie.
I've already gone first once.
Okay, I'll go first.
So, the capacity at Bournemouth's stadium is...
I'd just like to apologise for Kieran's Wi-Fi on behalf of Kieran.
Thanks, mate. Just in case my apology wouldn't get through.
I'd also just like to state that it would be great if he could turn his light on.
Noted.
A bit of on-stage editing there. Oh, here we go. The light in there, the quizmaster here.
Now, actually, in second thoughts, could you turn it off? We can see your face a bit too much.
Oh, that was a bit mean.
Sorry.
That's a bit mean. Anyway, Kieran, so stadium capacity is higher or lower? We're starting off with Bournemouth Stadium. Can you again repeat to me what Bournemouth Stadium capacity is?
Yes, I can. Bournemouth, according to a Wikipedia page, I know it's not the most reliable, but it was the easiest though to see everyone's.
I'm sure 11,
yeah, 11,329.
Mm-hmm.
My question to you is the capacity at Kenilworth Road, which is Luton Town's stadium, higher or lower?
That's a really tough one. That's a very tough start. But if I had to think of two stadiums actually quite similar in how they are in kind of traditional stadiums, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Luton's a bit higher. I'm gonna take a risk. Is Luton's a bit higher, maybe at the 15,000 mark?
You know, sometimes people say that risks pay off.
Oh.
I can inform you that yours has not.
No, I do. We'll get them two fingers good.
Yeah, you get that done. I mean, I can't really do it, but you just take a swig, basically. Okay. So Luton's capacity, again, according to this Wikipedia page, is 10,356. So it's about 1,000 less. My next question to you, though, 10,356 people. Does Bristol Rovers' stadium?
Oh no, man!
Hold more or less, or higher or lower for the namesake?
I mean, I've been out of all the ones we've met. This is the one I've been to. I had a massive nosebleed throughout my trip there. Because they've got a big standing section. This is the problem. They've got two standing sections at the Memorial Stadium, so that might add to it. And I feel like you wouldn't have said two that are lower, but I know it might catch me out. This and kit numbers and boots I'm terrible with. I do not know a thing about. I'm going to say high.
Why would you know anything about boots?
Well, anytime I go to football with a friend of mine, you all know as Muzzy, he always knows what boots people are wearing. I have not a clue
That's
what
incredible.
Fair play.
Anyway,
I've gone higher, but I think it's wrong.
Of this stadium is quite.
The lag is adding.
Quite bad.
The lag is making me.
This attention.
It's all done on purpose. What you're seeing right here, guys, is edited anticipation.
Someone get this man an Ethernet cable, please.
If you're wondering what you're looking at, what you're watching is a podcast with high quality hosting. And
this is very good.
Kieran's mugshot. Now, this has been used on multiple occasions.
We're on Zoom because of the COVID pandemic. Nope, this is the problem with this.
When we're all back together, can we please record a podcast in person?
Yes, 100%.
Please,
100%.
because this is making my head hurt.
What capacity is the Memorial Stadium?
It was all for the tension. You said your experience of the Memorial Stadium is not the best.
I ended up in the emergency bit.
Who's that for you? Is higher.
Yes. There we go. The two standing sections.
About 10 seconds after I said it, but we got it there. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so that is 12,100 at Bristol Rovers.
Mm-hmm.
So your next one, another stadium that I know you've been to quite recently as well. Any guesses? No.
St James Park?
No.
Chesterfield?
Is Chesterfield Stadium higher?
Oh, no, because that's a big stadium as well. Obviously, 1-2 football.
At the Memorial Stadium.
Oh, there's a lot of seats in the Chesterfield Stadium.
There is a lot of seats.
But I'm going to just edge it lower because there's no standing section there.
You got two in a row.
Yes, there we go. The standing sections offer a lot. The standing sections offer a lot. You have to remember.
It's the longest quiz we've ever seen in our lives.
We didn't see ours before the start of the pandemic.
Two more stadiums to go.
Come on, right, Chesterfield.
So the next one, again, apologies if I'm inaccurate here. I was going off a Wikipedia page. I am aware of how unreliable that source is, but it was much simpler to do it that way because all of the stadiums and capacities were there. So Nathan,
Wikipedia's unreliable.
Yeah,
you should have gone there and counted. But anyway, let's go.
But here we are. It was a bit of a last minute thing. I won't lie. The question now, though, to you, Nathan, is at Chesterfield Stadium you can fit 10,378 people. Can you fit more/higher or less/lower in Adams Park, Wycombe Wanderers Stadium.
See, I think Wycombe Wanderers Stadium is very small. So I'm going to say lower, but then I'm forgetting standing sections here. I might go away from... I'm going to say lower, but I'm not sure.
You sure?
I'm sure lower. I'll go lower because Wycombe's small.
It is lower.
Yes, I just knew it.
Wycombe
Wycombe are overachieving. Wheeler and
again,
all of
according
them,
to this,
overachieving.
10,000 on the dot.
I like Wycombe as a football club, but their stadium isn't big.
So your final question, thinking this would go a bit different, I have made this one somewhat easy.
It's SJP.
It is SJP.
Oh, it's St James Park. Exeter Stadium is lower, 8,000 in that stadium.
Any guesses for exactly?
I think it's like 8,900 or something like that. 8,700.
It's 8,830.
Ah, it was close.
Not a terrible guess.
I kind of just thought of a few of them, but it's SJP. I mean, that was a nice little. You bowled it for me. I hit out the park.
Yeah. For someone who said they weren't too good at this, you did all right. You only got the first one wrong.
I want to go to some of them grounds. I've been Chesterfield, I've been Bristol Roads, I've been Exeter. Get me to Adams Park. I want to see David Wheeler play.
Right, if I have this, I'm really hoping it's going to be Exeter, Wembley, Exeter, Wembley.
I can inform you, Ollie, it is not Exeter City, Wembley. City, Wembley.
Is it stadiums?
It is stadiums, though. Stadiums with a slightly higher capacity because, no offence, I feel like you might know a little bit less than Nathan.
In this
knowledge
subject,
fountain of this
yes, week. In this subject, I'll agree. I'd like to say overall, no. But I'd say...
Ollie academically knows more than me. When it comes to the beauty of the game, that's Ollie academically wipes me on any quiz, but anything else.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Right.
No.
We'll kick you off with Villa Park.
Right.
That's good.
Which holds 42,573 people. So my question to you, higher or lower for Goodison Park?
I'm going to say higher. I reckon it's like 50 odd.
And he's off to a flyer because that is wrong.
No.
Why would you do that?
Goodison Park holds 40,394.
Can I just say, Everton, you screwed me there. Get better. All right?
Well, they are getting a new stadium.
Everton are trying to move out of that stadium. That's
wait, you're not basing this off the new stadium? Because that's what I was basing this off.
That's not Goodison Park. That's not.
It's just ahead of the. You can see 3 years in the future.
I can actually. Yeah.
Ollie, get that down you quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the 2 fingers.
Yeah, Goodison Park. I mean, there's Liverpool fan. I still like
that was just not 2 fingers.
No, but I started giggling at the 2 fingers.
That was pinky finger.
Drink a bit. Come on. Yeah. Just down the
group.
All right. Your next stadium. Well, Everton's, I'll tell you, was 40,394. Higher or lower to the big St James's Park or St James Park. I do get very confused between those two. I won't lie to you, but it is Newcastle United Stadium.
I know that's this.
Newcastle as a club are quite a big club. Newcastle as achieving much are not a big club.
But remember, does their stadium match their stature or their actual ability?
I'm going to say it matches their stature. I'm going to say it's higher. It's definitely going to be like 38,000 now, isn't it? Just below the bar.
I'm pretty certain you're right.
Right.
You have unfortunately lagged for me a bit there, so I will have to ask for your answer again.
I said it's higher, but I think it's going to be lower.
It is higher.
Yes.
12,000 higher.
12,000 higher.
Because Liverpool Stadium used to be smaller than St James Park.
52,000.
Right. Okay. All right. Got one right.
What was that, Nathan? Sorry?
Don't worry, because I feel like that might be your next question.
Is it Anfield?
Is the capacity at Anfield higher or lower?
Well, it's going to be quite awkward if I get it wrong because I'm not going to lie, I kind of zoned out when he said that. But I'm pretty sure he said that St James's Park is now higher. So I'm going to say that Anfield is lower.
It used to be, keyword used to be higher. It used to be higher. It used to be higher.
Yeah. It's now higher. 54,074 people. So unfortunately for you, Mr. Barefoot won't lie to you.
We like to make good Spotify, or we like to make good podcasts and good television. So I definitely chucked through that one in the bin.
Okay. Fair enough.
Go on, Ollie. I mean, off you go.
Yeah, sure.
Forgets the idea of this.
Even though this whole thing is his.
Well, I'll bring you back down a bit because the next one I have is Elland Road. Is that higher or lower than Anfield?
Lower.
I mean, when you started with bring you back down a bit.
Yeah, well,
I based it off of the fact that you did say bring us down, so I'm going to go lower.
Yeah, that probably.
If it's not,
poor choice of words.
If it's not, you've mugged me off.
No, that's very right. It's about 17,000 less.
Okay.
Two more left now. So my next one to you is a team across the country, I think, from another team I've mentioned. So I'm going to ask you: is the capacity at the Stadium of Light, aka Sunderland, higher or lower than Elland Road, which is 37,890? Just so you know.
Probably actually the biggest home and away Exeter fan of all time because he actually went to Sunderland on a Tuesday night to watch that game.
I did. I travelled hell of a long way. But no, fair, it was actually a closer game than I think many.
6-3, wasn't it? 6-3 Sunderland.
Yeah.
It
was
Tom McCready, Oyeleke, they all got on.
It was one of the best live matches I've ever seen because Exeter actually held in there for quite a while. Or it was a good game anyway. And to be fair to them, I can remember it was a fair few years back. I can remember being at the stadium thinking, you know what, this is quite a big stadium.
But is it higher or lower than Elland Road?
They haven't moved since then. So I'm going to say higher, purely for the fact when I was there, I thought it was quite a big stadium. If it's lower, scratch this, and it was a really small stadium. But
I have to admit, I was not aware you attended that game. But your observations have helped you here because it is indeed higher.
Yes.
It's 49,000, the capacity.
Yeah, it was. I can remember sitting there and thinking, this is a very big stadium for what
Big old stadium. Right. Your final one.
I've lost anyway, but
is the capacity of the home of the European champions, Chelsea.
Ooh.
Higher or lower than the Stadium of Light?
That's a tough one.
You would think logically that Chelsea would have a bigger stadium. And I have no reason not to follow my logic because I've only got logic to go with. So I'm going to say it's higher. But this could be a very, very big trick question. But, I'm going to go for it. What was Stadium Light say? 40-odd? 49?
49,000.
You've got to think it's got to be higher. I'm going to say it's in the 60s, Chelsea. If not, they're disappointing. Tuchel should leave.
You would think it's higher, to be fair, wouldn't you?
But it's going to be lower, isn't it?
No, it is higher. You're right.
It's a roller coaster ride!
No, I'm only joking. Very wrong. Very, very wrong.
It's lower.
Is it lower?
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster ride!
Stamford Bridge holds 41,841 people.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's
I
a
like
stadium.
I like
I'd like to say, Tuchel, leave. Giroud, you just signed a contract, leave. All right? Everyone, leave.
Nice and cosy at Stamford Bridge. I like that. Sunderland, no success because the stadium's too big. Chelsea, nice small stadium, intimate settings.
I mean, it explains it all really why they've got a Netflix or Amazon show. Bigger stadium than Chelsea.
Sunderland, yeah. And they're also very funny to watch, just exist.
Yeah.
I mean, but moving from European champions, let's add the ship to that. The European Championship. And then let's talk about the upcoming European tournament.
Oh,
I mean, that was good. The European upcoming European.
Segue.
Nathan loves his smooth entrances.
That's good.
He's really got it. If only he was as smooth with the ladies as he was with the transitions.
That was crazy.
That's a low blow, Ollie. That's poor from you.
Ollie, you know I've got to shut my mouth here, Ollie. You know I've got to shut my mouth here if I want to talk about you. But European
this time last year, this time last year, who was the one who was in command?
I mean, let's not talk about it.
This time last year, we're not still in COVID situation, so no one.
Anyway, there's only been one time we've got to prove it, and I was the one that performed the best. But anyway, let's move on from that. European Championship, obviously the semi-finals and the finals are at Wembley, so it's kind of like a home tournament. There's a few games at Wembley. I mean, the disastrous idea that they're going to put it across Europe during COVID is absolutely, just ridiculous.
You talk about disastrous ideas and there's only one place to start off with, and the disastrous idea of my idea was the fact that we went with 4 right-backs to start with. We're now down to 3, thanks to the fact that, not thanks to the fact, but it's stupidity from Southgate in the first place.
I mean, 4 right-backs wasn't going to cost us the Euros.
No.
Good players.
It wasn't going to cost us, no. But was it a wrong decision in my mind? Yes. I mean, I
think it was a decision that makes you kind of go, fair enough. I mean,
can understand it. I can understand. There's people out there that go, you know what, Walker can play as a centre-back. You have players that can play more forward, up, more there. I understand that. But 4 right-backs is excessive, okay? No matter what you say, it is excessive. So Trent missing out, massive loss. Massive loss. He was included in my draft. It's a massive loss. The fact that we're only down to 3 now, and hopefully we can get a centre mid or an attacker midfielder in now. Lingard, Ward-Prowse are the obvious 2 players to replace him. Big positive in my mind.
And I like Ward-Prowse. I like what Ward-Prowse offers to the team, actually, a goal-scoring midfielder. He wasn't in my actual... When we did the thing, he wasn't in my original squad, neither was Lingard. But I kind of like what he offers is that goal scoring centre. I love Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham is very good. If Henderson's not fit, and I read today that Maguire and Henderson are both doubts of the Croatia game. If Henderson's not fit, Jude Bellingham has to start. He has to start because he's just so good at football. Which is, I really like him, especially against a team like Croatia.
Jealous.
He's 17. It's crazy. But I like what Ward-Prowse offers in terms of that goal scoring centre mid that's going to get into the box, kind of drift in and pick up a few goals maybe from set pieces as well when we need one at that time. But
you say he has to start. Not only has he got to start because of his ability, but the fact that if you're looking at a team, you're thinking the midfield's got to be the most, manned position to be in. England's midfield is like 5 players. Right, and if we're starting 3 in there, we have 2 on the bench. He's got to start because of the lack of players that we have in that team.
I mean, if Henderson's fit, Henderson has to. There's no doubt Henderson is England's best natural central midfielder for me. Never and biggest leader as well. I know Harry Kane is the captain, but Henderson
I 100% agree.
Is the biggest leader. But if you're looking at terms of pinpoint ability, especially if Henderson's not, I think Henderson's an underrated footballer. But imagine what Bellingham's like in 5 years if his path continues this way. I mean, it is crazy the footballer we have on our hands with Jude Bellingham here. And so we've got to take advantage of this. And what a great experience to play at Wembley in that role, in that kind of box-to-box kind of role, just smooth with it. He has to be a starter. But in terms of general competition, obviously, you look at France and the addition of Karim Benzema back into the team, my God, that might be the scariest team in the Euros, that France team. It's crazy.
I mean, they won the World Cup, so you would think going into this, that it's not many years later, they're going to be going in with a very similar team.
With the addition of Benzema now, Benzema.
It surprised me that he hadn't been involved more. He was in a big scandal basically with blackmailing a player. It was very. I can remember that coming out, but still, without Benzema, it's a quality team. With Benzema, it's an even better team than it was before. But I saw something earlier which was like, would you rather have Portugal's, England's, or France's lineup? They're all very good lineups in the attacking front this year. France is insane with the quality that they have in that team. For me, they're front runners by a mile. I think they will win it. I think they'll get the World Cup. I think they'll get this. I think they'll get the World Cup as well. Next
I think it's going to be a Spain-like era of dominance for France. When Spain won the 3 major competitions in a row.
It's changed. No one can deny France's quality. France is Man City in the Premier League. That squad depth, that squad of ability is incredible. And if they don't win, I will be surprised. It would be a massive letdown for their supporters because, come on. England, I won't lie to you, has got the best squad that I've seen in a long time.
I don't think England are much better than a lot of other teams, though. If that makes sense.
But in terms of going into the competition, I used to look at the squad and I do think there's strong players, but not necessarily a strong squad. I now look at it and I think, no, it's quite a strong squad, to be fair to us. We have a good competitive side. And I would be very disappointed if we didn't even if we don't get past if we don't get to the quarterfinals, I'll be disappointed. I think a semi-finals would be a good step to get for England.
Yeah.
France though, incredible. France
have to win. And Kieran, Belgium. Belgium always creep up on you as a team that should win it, but they never really do. What do you rate their kind of chances of getting this one?
It's weird, isn't it? Because the two arguably match winners or biggest players in De Bruyne and Hazard, De Bruyne's probably trying to get as fit as he can be for it after his injury in Chelsea, and I can just tell from your faces that my Wi-Fi is on the road.
It's gone clear here. It's fine now.
It was kind of hence why I was pretty silent for that, and I was just going, no.
But I mean, Hazard's not had a great season at Real Madrid. He's one that they want to move on from their club. I don't know if they're
not even picking.
I agree, Kieran. That is a very good point.
Yeah, I think Kieran's made a really good point. You lot didn't hear it, but
the thing is, with Belgium.
Thank you.
Belgium did look like they were a very good, strong team. But their depth isn't necessarily there. They take a couple injuries and it does drastically fall short of the Belgian team that we know and we have become used to in recent years. De Bruyne, is he ruled out of so many games?
I think he might make it.
I was going to say, it didn't look like the best of, situations.
I think it was a face injury, so he probably won't mask.
With Belgium, you do lose certain players, you do lose it. Lukaku is going to be a massive, thing for them. If he does get injured or pick up an injury, it's going to be a huge, huge loss for them. But I think this honestly could be one of the closest, or not closest, but one of the best international competitions that we've seen in a while, because the quality of players that are going to be on show and the quality of young players, I want to say, is going to be phenomenal. Can't say my words.
Okay.
Can I just say, while my Wi-Fi is really good, I can't wait for...
Oh,
I'm so excited. So I'll leave you with this question. God, damn it!
Quoted there. Wi-Fi is really good.
Wait.
What's the question, Kieran? Come on.
Wait. Who is your dark horse to get really far in the Euros?
Turkey. I like the team. Turkey have a fantastic team. Burak Yilmaz has just won Lille the league title. Okay, Yukoslu at West Brom, absolutely fantastic. Kaglar Soyuncu is one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. I think their general team is actually quite good. And I believe, I might be wrong here, but they've got some good results against France in qualifying for this. So they are genuinely a good team. They're fine to play. I was watching a video, to be honest, Tifo football. If you know about Tifo football, you know that tactical kind of insight on it. They're comfortable parking the bus, but they're also comfortable playing on the break and pressuring you. I think that's a really hard game. Kind of similar to how Croatia were in the World Cup. I think we're going to see similarities with Turkey, but also Italy, which is the first game. Turkey v Italy is a crazy game. Italy have got some of the best central midfielders in the world right now. Nicolo Barella, and I forgot all the other ones. But Locatelli, Manuel Locatelli, Juventus' number one target. Some of the biggest players, some of the best performing players on form. Maybe not reputation-wise. Italy looking good. They've only lost twice since Mancini's arrival, I think, in 2018. I want to say, and they're looking strong as well. So, that group I'm really looking forward to seeing. But aside from that, Ollie, what are you thinking for Dark Horse? Mine's Italy or Turkey.
Personally, I don't think Dark Horses are going to have much room to reign in this tournament. I think there's such quality teams in it. But the only team I was going to touch upon, I was going to say Italy. They were disappointing in the previous international tournaments. They
didn't qualify, did they, for the last one?
You what?
They didn't qualify for the World Cup, did they?
They were disappointing. They didn't even make it. But I have to agree. I feel like even at the time, I was surprised they missed out. They have a good squad, all right? They're not going to win it, in my opinion. I don't think they don't have the squad to win it, but they definitely had a squad back then to even qualify. I do think they're going to, make up for their mistakes back then, and I think they're going to do better than they have done previously. But like I said, I think there's such good teams in this tournament that I don't think we're going to have that sort of small team doing very well. There's so many good teams in this tournament now that they're not going to have the time to shine, and that can be disappointing in one way, but in the other way, it's just going to make for such an exciting show. And as an England fan, I don't think we're going to win it, but I'm excited for our chances, depending on what Southgate chooses. But
I think the beauty of international football is we can talk about how there's going to be no dark horses, but there really could be. I mean, who was saying Wales were going to get to the semi-finals of the Euros? I mean, with Hal Robson-Kanu leading the line. I mean, that is crazy. That's the beauty of international football. Anything can happen, and there's just about enough quality in a lot of the teams that mean that anything. Okay, sorry.
Look at who was knocked out in the group stage of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Or the finals. You had your Germanys going out. I mean, look at who England played in the quarterfinals. You played Sweden.
Germany's another one. Sorry to interrupt, but Joachim Löw's leaving. They want to celebrate that whole time he was there. They're going to play their hearts out. They want to impress the new manager, Hansi Flick, who, by the way, is one of the best managers in the world right now. They're getting Hansi Flick, who just won 4 titles with Bayern Munich. He won the Champions League, Bundesliga twice. I mean, this is not a bad manager. Normally, for international football, you associate kind of the lower level managers because they don't want to give up that kind of club responsibility. So you don't tend to get the biggest names. That's why the England job is so hard, because you're never going to attract the biggest names because the workload is less. So you get the types like Gareth Southgate. Belgium have Roberto Martinez, who I'll never quite get my head around as being a great manager. But Hansi Flick is genuinely a fantastic manager. So Germany, I mean, maybe not for this tournament, but Germany soon are going to be a real team to watch because that's a great appointment.
You want to talk about underdogs? I think my quiz could be one of the best ones yet, and that's the underdog right there. So, third final quiz, right, of the first ever football. Let's get into it.
Okay.
All right, so the final quiz, all right, it's been coming, and it is finally here.
Here we are. Oh, it's been a long wait for us.
So this time, just so you can clarify, I'm not trying to be fancy. It's not if you can see right now. I understand people on Spotify right now that you're not going to really see the visual, so I will read out the clubs that it's for. It's naming a player based on the clubs they were at, Wikipedia style. We've already said we understand Wikipedia isn't always all that, but this is it. So we're going to get into it. The first one, okay?
And how does it work in terms of answering?
In terms of answering, if you get it wrong, you sit. In terms of
who is it like?
Yeah. In terms of answering that's a question, I would like you to put your hand up if you understand and you know what it is, okay? If you both put your hand up, I would like you to message me individually, all right? And then I'll read out who said what, okay? We all understand, yeah?
Yeah, I understand. But I was just not sure about Kieran's situation.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, nice.
All right, there's some hefty movement.
Okay, here it is.
So message you on like Snapchat or something?
Message me however you bloody want. Just message me.
That's if we're even, though. If I put my hand up way before Nathan, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Me.
I did not even see that.
Okay, wait. We'll give Kieran a little bit of time just in case you do get the wrong answer.
But I know the answer.
Does Kieran have any idea? Just so those listening, we have. All right, I'm going to say the name of the team name's wrong. So if I do, just say it, please, out loud.
Yeah, I know the answer.
Okay,
I know the answer.
We have Rene. Is it wrong?
Ren.
We have Ren. We have Monaco.
You're frozen.
We have Chelsea. We have Milan. We have Monaco on loan again. And then we have Napoli on loan, okay? So, Nathan, what's the first? Nathan, what team?
Is this Bakayoko?
Yeah, not team. Don't know why I said team. Player.
Tiemio Bakayoko. I think that's his name.
Kieran, who are you going to say?
I would have said Bakayoko.
I think he's set to move to another Italian club. He's getting passed around a bit. I hope it's right.
It is.
Yes.
It is indeed. You have got it right. My players are a bit all over the place. I won't lie. There are some random people in there. But yeah, you are correct. 1. So, Kieran, please drink because you were the loser of this round.
I'm not going to lie. I think my Wi-Fi may stiff me here.
That's just the name of the game. It's all about who has the best Wi-Fi. It's all about who has the best coaching team in a one-on-one in boxing MMA. So it is what it is.
Okay, here we are. We have Manchester City from 2005 to 2015. Fiorentina from 2014 to 2015. And to 19. Nathan's hand shot right up there.
Mika Richards.
We were going to wait to see if Kieran had...
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
I don't think I'd have got that.
Nathan has taken an absolute storm in here. Kieran, drink. It is Richards. It is the Sky Sports pundit himself.
Everyone's favourite pundit, Mika Richards.
His laugh, man.
I won't lie, he was added in there because he always sticks in my head now because of him being a pundit. And he is always quite funny.
If you ever see him and Jamie Carragher do the Champions League stuff, I don't know what channel it is and what nation it's on in, but the clips from it are always funny. I love Mika Richards. From a fairly okay footballer to a brilliant pundit. Fair play to him.
All right, moving on to the next one. Kieran, you got some.
Yeah, all right, mate.
We have Ajax from 2003 to 2009, 97 appearances. We have a random team. I can't even pronounce it. RKC Walwich from 2003 to 2005. Can I just say lethal here? 12 goals in 33 games. 1 goal every other 3 games, basically. We see you, my friend. We'll get to you. Arsenal 2009, 2014. Barcelona 14-19. Roma 16-17 on loan. And then Vissel Kobe 2019 onwards. All right.
Japan.
I will not lie to you. I'm pretty confident I've got this.
I don't know it, so you've got a pretty.
Those middle 3, I'm pretty confident this player's played for all those 3 in this order. I think it's Thomas Vermaelen.
That's a fact. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. No.
Now you go with Thomas Vermaelen. It is indeed Thomas Vermaelen.
Yeah, and that's a great shout. Well done, Kieran.
A player that, can we just go back? Look at the team he's in, and I'm pretty sure he's still called up to the Euros.
Yeah, experienced head.
He's done a job for Belgium, to be fair.
He's playing in Japan.
He has done a job, but I feel like that does shine a light on the lack of depth and the lack of quality coming through in their defensive area.
Good link.
Maybe he's a bit Eric Dyer, therefore vibes.
But it is what it is. But can I just say, I was astounded. 12 goals in 33 games for a centre-back, for a defender.
He's a goal scorer.
Was he on free kick?
That is a lethal return. All right, okay. Can he pull it back to 2-2?
Yeah, that's one of them that it doesn't seem obvious until you see it, like who it is. I'm like, of course.
Moving on.
Oh, Christ.
Manchester United from 2008 to 2014. 19 appearances. To Sampdoria, to QPR. Oh, Nathan straight up. But we'll get to you in a moment. We'll get to you in a moment. Kieran, is your hand up at close second?
I think Kieran knows who it is. I got it.
Okay. Doncaster Rovers, Birmingham City, permanently at Cardiff, permanently also latest at Penang.
I'm thinking last minute winners. I'm thinking Bison.
Oh, you little... Because I know who it is.
You little what, Kieran? What was that going to be?
That's the man.
Little silence. Nathan, we'll go for your answer first, please.
Federico Makeda.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
And the legend who was meant to be the next be and end all, who ended up being the end of it very quickly.
I thought to take a drink after losing, so that was for that.
Kieran, was that your answer as well?
I got it as soon as Nathan went, I know. And I was like, you.
I saw he scored some goals. I was like, it clicked. That was Federico Makeda. I think I used that one. We used to do Zoom quizzes before. I think I've used Federico Makeda.
You may have done. I think it's the last one now. Is this the 4th one being? I think it was.
Yeah.
No, there's 5. There's 5 in total. This player.
Me. I know.
Well, hold on. Arsenal, 2005-2014, 108 appearances and only 24 goals. Birmingham City, Sunderland, Juventus, Wolfsburg permanently, Nottingham Forest, and then it goes all the way down to Copenhagen as his last team that he was at. All right, I just want to go in. Are you both very confident?
Oh, I know who it is.
I'd like to think I'm confident.
Okay, I very much know who this is.
Can I just have, when I say go, I want you to name the position that this player plays in.
Striker. Oh, sorry.
Didn't say go. But
can I say the nationality then?
Go on then.
I believe he's Danish.
I would just like to say he is a striker, and 70 goals in 296 games is a very poor return for a striker. For Marlon,
if you look at it individually, it's not too bad.
But Marlon, give him a run for his money. Nathan, who is it?
It's the man who recently announced his retirement from football. The Lord himself, Nicholas Bentner.
It is indeed.
Yeah, I knew it as soon as I saw Arsenal with the lone spells.
There was only one I didn't know. In terms of like speed, Nathan is just quicker.
Maybe I can just A to B a bit quicker.
I will be honest, it was not the hardest of all quizzes, but I felt, drunk football, we've all had a bit to drink. I'll make it a bit simpler. You guys can maybe take a note out of my own book here with making quizzes a bit simpler.
Maybe when I'll do the wiki ones next time, we'll be about 10, 20 minutes trying to figure out who it is.
But, we're going to get some stinkers.
It is what it is. But yeah, well, that wraps up, the first ever drunk football. I think we held our liquor better than any men expected. In Roundup, we've discussed that Conte may not be the man for Tottenham, that Kane definitely needs to move on for Tottenham to reshape, and that 4 right-backs for England may have been a step too far. But overall,
Turkey might win the Euros.
But overall, what we have discussed is, and found out, that I am crap at quizzes. And actually, what we found out even more so is that Kira needs better Wi-Fi.
Oh, man. Terrible.
That wraps up the first ever drunk football. Hope you enjoyed it. It has been longer than we anticipated, but we had so much fun. Why not? See you next time.